Namaskar. Today's topic is about milk, good or bad. A yogic lifestyle is one of compassion, sensitivity, inclusiveness. All life is sacred to a yogi. The very purpose of meditation practice is to expand our circle of love, to love all of the Supreme Consciousness creatures, not only humans, animals, plants, even non-living beings. Out of respect for all life, the yogic vegetarian diet represents that because we're eating lower on the food chain. As elder members of the human society, we should feel like stewards with all the living beings we share our planet with. Further to the left of the vegetarian diet, there are vegan, fruitarian, even breatharians. The yogi's sattvic lacto-vegetarian diet includes dairy and dairy products. Recent research has revealed certain negative results from consuming too much dairy. On the other hand, including it in our diet ensures an adequate amount of vitamin B12 and other essential fatty acids which may be lacking in a vegan diet. So let's look at the pros and cons of drinking cow's milk. First of all, we consider that milk is a valuable source of calcium. In a 7-year study by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, they grouped women into 3 categories: high ratio of animal to plant protein, middle ratio, low ratio. They found that the woman in the high ratio range suffered from bone loss 3 times greater and osteoporosis or hip fractures 4 times the rate of those in the lower ratio range. So the consumption in the Western diet, the consumption of milk, which also in the Western also includes meat, fish, and eggs, is responsible for one of the reasons for osteoporosis in middle-aged women later in life. Sweden, United States, UK, Finland, the highest consumers of dairy products, also have the highest rates of osteoporosis. On the other hand, China, which gets all of its calcium from vegetable sources, consumes only half of the amount of calcium that Westerners do, but they don't suffer from calcium deficiencies. It's difficult to know actually how much calcium we need in a day, but current estimates for the United States and Canada is 1,000 milligrams a day, although it varies according to age and so many other factors. The WHO found that populations taking as low as 400 milligrams a day of calcium don't suffer from any calcium deficiencies. So it's not only the calcium in a food that's important, the amount, but the availability of that calcium. And for the availability of calcium for the body needs a proper calcium to phosphorus ratio. So chicken, beef, pork, fish, because the calcium phosphorus ratio is so low, that calcium is not able to be utilized by the body. On the other hand, Brussels sprouts, 63% bioavailable, the calcium. Mustard greens, 58%. Turnip greens, 53%. Broccoli, 52%. Kale, 50%. And then cow's milk at 32%. The other important factor, 2 other factors that are important when considering bone strength, is exercise and normal quantities of protein in the diet. As Dr. Lynn Goldberg aptly puts it, if exercise could be put in a bottle, it would be the most widely prescribed medication. Dr. John McDougall says that over the last 55 years of research into keeping a positive calcium balance that will bring healthy bones, the most important factor is eating normal quantities, not excessive quantities of protein. Protein has to be broken down into amino acids. So too much protein creates an overly acidic condition in the body, which has to be neutralized. And so the body does that by leaching calcium from the bones, creating calcium phosphate and alkali. Not all countries follow the United States example of converting cows into cash factories through factory farms, industrial agricultural methods. Sweden banned factory farming back in 1987. The Dutch Food Safety Program bans the use of hormones as growth stimulants. The production lines in factory farms is 3 to 6 times slower in European factory farms as compared to their American counterparts. Elsewhere in the world, Argentina, almost all of the cattle is grass-fed. Nowadays, there are many more options available in terms of milk from grass-fed cows. India, the world's largest consumer of dairy and dairy products, has relatively few factory farms. In India, the cow is treated like a member of the family, sometimes even more. The term a sacred cow comes from the reverence that cows receive from their human guardians. And milk is considered the perfect food. It has formed the base of the vegetarian diet for thousands of years, including milk, yogurt, paneer, Indian sweets. So the other thing about calcium is that in order for the body to utilize the milk sugar called lactose in calcium, it has to be broken down into glucose and galactose. So if it is estimated that in the world about 50% of the world population includes 90% Mongolian race is lactose intolerant. It means drinking milk causes them gas, diarrhea, bloating, cramps. Even in New Zealand, as factory farming practices take hold there, it's estimated that 1 in every 5 is lactose intolerant nowadays. It's only human beings that consume milk beyond their infant years. Another interesting fact is that when the cow gives milk to her calf, she's not depriving her of any milk by reserving some of that for human beings, because she produces more milk than the calf can consume. So all in all, the question of consuming milk is a very open question today. In certain countries, because of the factory farming methods, the milk is not healthy. Yet in other countries of the world where cows are raised by small-scale farmers, peasant farmers, the milk is much more healthy. It's produced in a healthy way than in developed countries. To insist on a vegan diet in Mongolia, Russia, India, or some African nations would not be a very practical suggestion. So overall, as well as we find newer and newer forms of milk coming into our global dietary choices. We have soy milk, coconut milk, rice milk, oat milk, peanut milk. And as we go forward, newer and newer forms of milk will replace cow's milk as it is used in certain countries today. All in all, we can say that from the ethical, humane, spiritual, and ecological point of view, the lacto-vegetarian diet is the most practical one at this present stage of our human evolution. Thank you very much. Namaskar.